For instance, I went to my little girl's first softball practice, and we pull up, and she runs out there on the field, and I'm looking around, and there's a lady sitting there in the stands, so I go over there, and I just kind of sit down beside her, and I said, how you doing? She said, I'm not doing too good. What do we got? We got some pain. I said, what's the problem? She said, you really want to hear about it? I said, look, I got an hour and a half of 5-year-old girls practice. Yeah, tell me what's going on. I got nothing else to do, right? Tell me about what's going on. She said, well, my husband and I own our own company. And he's been after me for years to have the company party at our house. And I kept telling him, I said, if you let me finish the basement, we'll have the party. So this year he decided he'd let me finish the basement. So we started on, I hired a contractor, blah, blah, blah. He starts work, says, you got to go pick out your fixtures. So I went down to Progressive Lighting or whatever it was, and I walked in, I was looking around, I saw this ceiling fan. I went, oh my God, that's the ceiling fan I've got to have. So I planned my whole basement around this particular ceiling fan, the color and the way it looked, and it was brass, and I used brass and blah, blah, blah. And she said, long story short, Steve, is the guy finished my basement last week. My party is this Friday night. My ceiling fan just came in yesterday. I called my contractor and I said, I got my fan, can you come hang it? He said, there's no way I can get there. I called 4 or 5 electricians in the phone book in Alpharetta and Roswell. Nobody's got time to come out and hang my ceiling fan. So now I'm going to have this party, and I'm going to have this hole in the ceiling. And I said, well, you want that ceiling fan hung tonight or in the morning? She said, you hang ceiling fans? I said, no, ma'am, I'm in the mortgage business. I said, but my friend Wes Nolan hangs a mean ceiling fan because he's hung a bunch of them for me, and I'm going to give him a call. So I pull out my cell phone. I call Wes. Wes, Beach here. Hey, man, need a big, big favor. Got this lady, she's having this party. She needs a ceiling fan hung. She needs it like tonight or in the morning. It's on your way home from work. Is there any way possible you can hang a fan? Yeah, man, if it's not very difficult, I'll go by there and do it tonight. So he talks to her. I said, he said, yeah, and I said, that's a good part. I said, I want you to, so I'm gonna give you to my new good friend, Sue. So he and Sue talk, and she says, thank you. She said, hopefully he'll show up. Saturday morning we come back for the second practice. I pull up in my car, and I get out of my car, and this lady comes up, Steve Beacham, I love you, I love you, I love you. I do love you. Wes Nolan's awesome. I said, did he get your ceiling fan hung? Yeah, it's awesome. So she walks off. I grab my phone and go around my car. Wes, Beach here. Oh, man, I'm sorry I hadn't called you. I said, how'd that ceiling fan thing go? He said, oh, man, dude, I went in there. I hung the ceiling fan. It was simple. She said, how much? I said, $250. She said, I'm paying you $500. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming. She said, are you busy right now? And he said, well, I got the rest of the week. I'm kind of slow, but next week I got a job starting. She said, come down here in my basement. He said, Beach, I'm still in, right now, I'm in her basement Saturday morning. I got $2,500 worth of work out of her for hanging that $250 ceiling fan. I am so sorry I haven't called you and tell you thank you, but I've been too busy to call you. 4 or 5 days later, this lady called me. Steve, you don't know me. My name's Kelly. I live down the street from Sue, and I've been watching her basement remodeling. I told her we're going to do ours. She said if I need to borrow any money, I had to call you. What do I need to do? Three or 4 weeks later, I get this phone call from a guy, and he says, Steve, you don't know me. My name's Scott. Wes Nolan's in my Sunday school class. And I was telling him, Sunday, we're going to buy a new house, sell our house, buy a new house. He said, you got to call Steve before you do anything. He said, so I'm calling you. Tell me what I need to do. When you help people when you have deeper conversations with people and you look for their pains, you also can figure out what their pleasures are. And so when you take somebody's pain and hook it up with somebody else you know's pleasure, you get a double wow.